Now to new details in the investigation into the possible breach of Princess Kate's medical records as we learn when she may return to her royal duties. Maggie Rulli is outside Buckingham Palace for us. Good morning, Maggie.
Hey, good morning, Robin. Yeah, we're hearing this morning that Princess Kate been feeling well enough to actually do some work from home. And we also understand that she's been made aware of this potential breach. This morning, new details about the report of an attempted breach of Princess Kate's medical records. ITV News reporting 3 members of staff from the exclusive London clinic are being investigated for allegedly trying to access Kate's records after she underwent abdominal surgery in January. A spokesperson from the UK privacy watchdog telling ABC News that it received a breach report about Kate's records and is assessing the information provided. Kensington Palace not yet commenting, saying it's a matter for the London clinic. The clinic, famous for treating other members of the royal family, including King Charles, who was a patient there at the same time as Kate. Despite the latest scandal to rock the royal family, Prince William all smiles as he spent Wednesday visiting with Welsh guards near his family home in Windsor. Earlier this week, TMZ and The Sun obtaining video of the couple looking relaxed after shopping at a local market. Now, new reports Kate may make her re-entrance into royal duties on Easter Sunday.
If she goes to church, I'm sure that'll dampen down a few more of the fanciful claims, but not completely. The reality is that this probably would have never happened. They'd been a bit more open about it. But I fully understand that when it comes to your medical health, it's your private business.
And guys, even with all of this intense focus on the royals right now, it seems like most of the family is just trying to put their heads down and do the work. We saw Prince William with the Welsh guards. Queen Camilla is in Northern Ireland today. And even though he's in the middle of cancer treatment right now, just moments ago, we saw King Charles drive here into Buckingham Palace. George?
Okay, Maggie.
Melania Trump has largely stayed out of the public eye since her husband left the White House, but now that he's the apparent Republican nominee, many are wondering how she's going to be involved. Is she going to be that involved in his re-election campaign?
Mrs. Trump, are you going to return to the campaign trail with your husband? Stay tuned.
One of the interesting things about her response is that it was a reply, but not an answer. You can think of, somebody like Jill Biden asked a similar question, would have a much more definitive answer. Melania Trump is somebody who doesn't really enjoy the campaign trail. What she does do or has done in the past is take fees to speak at fundraisers or as the guest of Republican groups like Log Cabin Republicans. Right before the 2016 election, she also spoke to women voters in Pennsylvania. So there are things that she has done, and that would be, in line with the kind of presence that she has kept on the trail before.
An AI tool being tested in Scotland has identified tiny breast cancer tumours in 11 women, which had been missed by doctors. The technology was piloted alongside National Health Service clinicians and analysed the mammograms of more than 10,000 women. Our technology editor Zoe Kleiman has more details.
So this is one of the extra cancers that was picked up by the AI.
That is so tiny.
Yes, it is indeed. And you can see why 2 human readers would have just looked through, compared it. It looks very much the same and would have said that that's normal.
Here in Aberdeen, Dr. Gerald Lipp has just led the first NHS evaluation of an artificial intelligence tool called Mia, designed to help improve breast cancer diagnosis. The initial results are encouraging.
It's almost like another colleague and someone as a second opinion looking over your shoulder and helping you. So one human reader and then the AI doing the next read, we could move our turnaround time from 14 days down to 3 days. And you know that anxiety, if you've had a mammogram or any tests in the hospital, I've had tests, you're kind of waiting on that result and you want to know it as soon as you can. So anxiety and sort of is another factor in this as well that we want to try and reduce.
Barbara's cancer was so tiny, Dr. Lip and his team didn't spot it, but Mia did.
I'm just incredibly grateful. If I hadn't had that, then I don't know when I would have found it.
The early diagnosis meant that Barbara needed shorter and less invasive treatment. She told me without AI, her tumour might not have been spotted for another 3 years at her next routine scan, by which point it would have been a lot bigger and might have spread.
You say cancer and they say, oh, I'm so sorry. And I felt a fraud because it was so small. It's just so easy. There's no extra appointment or anything. And then when you have the operation, it's at a very early stage. So it's minimal compared to what it could be.
AI is good at this when it's properly trained to spot early, tiny symptoms of a specific disease. But this isn't perfect yet. It has a tendency to overdiagnose. And also, because of current health guidelines, it's not allowed to learn on the job and evolve as it's used.
Right now, this tech is still being researched. Mia was built by the medical firm Kyiv and runs on computing power from Microsoft. It was fed millions of images of scans from women around the world to enable it to recognise specific signs of potential breast cancer.
Hello, breast speaking, Dora speaking.
Within 5 years, some experts say AI will routinely be used in cancer diagnosis. I struggled to see some of the symptoms Dr. Lip showed me, and I only looked at a few of them. Currently, human specialists analyse up to 10,000 scans per year. The hope is that AI tech like Mia might one day reduce that workload and the strain that goes with it. Zoe Kleinman, BBC News.
Just in from Washington this morning, the Biden administration has announced a new wave of forgiveness for student loans, totaling nearly $6 billion in student debt. So I know what you want to know. Who's going to qualify for this? Let's bring in Ed O'Keefe. He's standing by at the White House with the deets. You know what that means, right? It's the details. Short form. It's how the kids talk. Ed, good morning.
This is how the kids talk, Anne-Marie. Exactly. Good morning. Good to see you. Look, this latest wave of forgiveness applies to public service workers, firefighters, nurses, teachers, and others who've been on the job 10 years or more. And it amounts, as you said, $6 billion in debt cancellation, all thanks to an existing federal program that had been little used until the last few years, and in a sign of how the president is now trying to take a little more credit for this program. In a tough election year, the White House says he'll be emailing another roughly 380,000 public service workers next week to let them know they're about 2 years away from being eligible for similar relief. Perhaps the subtle message he's sending is, that is, if I get reelected and decide to go through with this. Remember, the Supreme Court last year rejected the president's original big student loan forgiveness program, and the Education Department is working on new rules for a broader forgiveness plan that would apply to more Americans. Tweaks to smaller existing loan forgiveness programs have helped the president give the relief that we're reporting on this morning. Overall, nearly 4 million Americans so far have been made eligible for student loan forgiveness since the president took office, and as he works to cut costs for Americans, this is the kind of thing, Anne-Marie, the White House is hoping could help mobilize voters come November.
Indeed, Ed. Thank you very much.
A fire breaking out at the historic Cathedral of Notre Dame.
More people come to Notre Dame than the Eiffel Tower. You and I, in our lifetime, have seen projects like this taking 20 years. What percentage of completion do you think you are at now?
Oh, I think we are at 85 or 90.
Wow!
We have finished the roofs,
oui.
The spire. We have cleaned all the inside, all these woods. We have cleaned the paintings. It's important that we cannot identify what has been rebuilt because it's the same stones and the same type of work, which is the respect we owe to the monument. President Macron said we will do it in 5 years for 2024, and we are doing it.
First to correspondent CB Cotton with the latest. Hi, CB.
Hi, Martha. Yeah, the clock is winding down, and while we wait to see what Trump's next steps are, it appears New York Attorney General Letitia James has laid some of the groundwork for asset seizure should Trump not come up with a bond for nearly half $1 billion. Earlier this month, James formally registered the staggering judgment against Trump in Westchester County, New York, as you mentioned, which is home to the Trump National Golf Club Westchester and the Trump Organization's Seven Springs estate. Right now, the registration doesn't mean too much, but it is a procedural step that would allow James to secure a lien against properties there in the future. But business law experts tell us James's first steps will likely be through Trump's bank accounts, stocks, and investment holdings, because seizing real estate is always far more challenging.
You would not want to shut down operations by kicking out employees and such. And the property will be most valuable if it continues to operate. I think it would be more like placing a lien against the property so that if he ever tried to sell the property, the state would get its money before he got his money.
Trump's legal team told the court more than 30 insurance companies have refused to accept real estate as collateral to underwrite a bond for the eye-popping total. In response, the Attorney General's office provided a series of suggestions to secure the money, to include a fire sale, but the Trump team has pushed back on all those ideas. Trump has asked the appeals court to accept a smaller bond while he appeals the $454 million judgment, or allow him to not post a bond at all. Martha.
All right. Thank you very much, CB.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.